All right, before I get into crypto and where I think we're going and all the different factors this time, every time there's different factors. Wish it was just organic like the 2016 halving going into late 2017, early 2018. But before I get into all that, come over to ZTRADEZ.net, check out our terms and conditions page. If you agree to it, feel free to watch the video, join the newsletter, as well as our trading platform below and join our community, which is 100% free. If you don't agree to it, do not watch this video and get out of here. Let's jump into it. I just want to kind of cover, we're going to go into some serious charting here on some more advanced tools I use. But, I call the top right around here thinking that it's not going to break through. It's holding up well, judging by the candlesticks. This is the weekly. Tomorrow's Friday. If it can close like this or even a little bit higher, that's bullish and we could push out of that. Obviously, clear as day TA right here, obviously right here, coming off the 50. I expected, I was telling, we did hit a new ATH. But I was telling all my friends, if I were to be in, I'd be taking some right where we were at on the previous highs. Quickly, I'm interested to see what's going on the monthly. That's a 1, 2, 3, and the body's getting a little bit smaller here. And that's kind of a neutral candle. Not a good sign with a big volume shelf over in here. Not a good sign. Daily, we're dancing around off this volume shelf. I guess you could call that an IHS. Maybe we could go higher. We'll see. I want to take a look at the rainbow chart. So you can tell, now this is different than the other rainbow chart that I have, which is a bit different. Let's just take a look at, I'm going to get off this one in a second here. I'm going to close this out so we can see the other one. But it looks like we were coming nowhere near the red now that the rainbow is getting a little bit tighter because, that FTX collapse was the first time we disrespected it. And that was concerning to me because we've always seen at least the yellow here, right, for upside. Now, if you look at how quick this went, right over in here, this halving of 2020, and we ripped, well, the Fed was buying a ton of bonds and injecting money and liquidity into the market. Obviously, the dollar was dropping. Obviously, we were going to go parabolic. Right now, the dollar's plummeting. I mean, it is dropping hard. Let me actually take a look at that up here. We are really dropping on the dollar. Really hard, and it still looks bearish. I mean, we're at yearly lows on money sign DXY. We haven't been this low in 3 years. In fact, let me keep going back here. Let me just pull up. Whenever I get to the chart over here, we'll pull it up. Let's just see if I can do this. I could use UUP as an instrument. Weekly. Let's move my mug. We haven't been over here on UUP, although this is a little bit different security since 2020, December 2023. Other than that, I mean, then we got like COVID lows. That's the next thing. This is when we were hiking interest rates. COVID rate cuts, dollar drop, COVID rate hikes, dollar rip. We're going into rate cuts already, which started somewhere over in here. Well, no, definitely back in, we started in 2025, 2024, 2025, over in here. And it was wild to see the dollar come up and double top to still run up, but we're dropping right now. The Fed is buying bonds through the Treasury right now. It's like their own form of QE in a sense without the Fed. But I'd like to see the yellow. That would put us around 200K. We're not just, in my opinion, we're not just going to run to the next halving. We're going to have a new Fed chair coming next year, 2026, and they're going to cut probably very hard. CPI is coming in great. Gas is nearly down $1, which affects everything when it comes to inflation. And the trade war is coming to an end, like I said it would, just like it did last time. The media has to hype it up to make it seem like it's the end of the world, right? Trade war is going to come to an end, and that's it. It's over. It could happen by Monday. And it's like, well, that was nothing, really? So that was all just media hype? Yes, it's media hype. We just didn't want baked-in inflation. That would be concerning, and that wouldn't be media hype. That would be a tragedy. But you can see this having, we took off pretty much immediately because what was going on with COVID. This one was a little bit more gradual. 2016, where are the OGs at? This is when I was getting XRP at 3 cents. I knew people that were in at a cent. I was getting in Tron sub a cent, right around a cent, 0.9 cents. It ran to 30 cents. And Bitcoin took off for a long, long time. Let's see, December, going all the way about a year and a half. Yeah. Wait a second here. We're in 2016, September of 2016. Yeah, ran for over a year after the halving. So we had a halving in April. It was just April, right? So if it's going to start going, in my opinion, it should be picking up right here. If this is it, then the rainbow chart can't be trusted anymore, in my opinion. Yeah, I could dance around in this range. I don't see the red. Hit the red there, hit the red here. I don't know if I see the red up there. Because we're coming up to like max supply. There's not that many that need to be mined. So every time we do a halving, it's not as effective as it was over in here and over in here. Each time it's less effective. So let's keep moving on here. Here's another chart. This is the Bitcoin long-term power law. Right, every time we've hit the purple line, just about it. Well, it looks like we did in this time. Right, in 2020, I would like us to at least surpass the green line. Over in here, when would this be? This would be in 2026. That, my all-time prediction, like if it's going to do anything, it's got to do it by December of 2026, or January of 2026. December of 2025 or January of 2026. It's got to do it by then, in my opinion. So it'd be over in here, and that would put it above 136. Hopefully we could see higher, right? 150, 140. I mean, that's not that much more than where it's at right now. It's not that big of a deal. Overall, in the grand scheme of things, it's been great, especially if you picked it up at 15. I mean, that's a run right there. Here's the original rainbow chart, the OG one. I mean, look at this. We're running from like nothing, from like $10. What was the price there? Yeah, $10 all the way to very high. Very, very high. Yeah, look at that. I'm pretty sure we ran it to 1,200 from $10. Now, those are some gains. Those are some serious gains. Then over in here from, 400 or so, all the way to 20 grand. I remember that perfectly. 3,200 was the low. I remember a wick hitting that perfectly. I don't even you need to use this up or look at it. And we saw 69 was the peak. Now, is this it? This is nothing. If we're going to go by 2026, that's right over in here. If we're even at where the lime green is, we're at, 213K to 200 in the high 290s, right? I don't think that's going to happen. We'll see if it does. Did Bitcoin run this halving cycle? Absolutely. It absolutely ran. Went from 15K to over 110,000. So anyone who says the halving cycle doesn't work, you're wrong. It doesn't run on the halving where these green lines are. It's delayed. It runs afterwards each and every time. But is this it? Is this it? Is that all we're going to get? I sure hope not. As of now, based with CPI coming under control, which Bitcoin runs opposite of the dollar. It loves money being injected. The Fed buying bonds up, providing liquidity. That's what Bitcoin really likes. The adoption that you could see by everything, the institutional adoption, it gave it somewhat of a boost, but it had more of a boost with no institutional adoption over in here and over in here and over in here, right? Still did well without it, and this time we have it. It's like it's not as serious. So we'll see. My all-time cutoff is January of 2026, and if it's going to do anything, it should probably start going within the next 2 months. I mean, it's already very high right now. Let's keep moving. Here's another chart. I think we stock to income on Bitcoin. Every single time we've exceeded or went past the plateau, we're not there. It's saying 350. That's hard to believe. Very hard to believe. 176 on the low end side by 2026. I absolutely agree with that. That's definitely a possibility. But if you all want to really understand, take a look at this real quick. Bitcoin doesn't just move vertically up. It doesn't. And you got these guys who are like, don't think of Bitcoin on a 5-year scale. Think of it on 100. You're not going to be alive in 100 years, right? I don't like that when people give this advice out, baby boomer advice, where as if like, where you could plan, inflation was low, things were slow, housing wasn't ripping 100,000 a year, and you could take things slow, slowly invest, and things were okay. That mentality is passed on that the baby boomers have from a different monetary system where you made money by saving, because when we were on the gold standard, things virtually stayed the same price, right? So if you saved, you got ahead because you had more. And then when you save, the banks are paying 7 to 8%. You could do 30-year bonds, they're paying like 12, and that's how you made it, saving, right? Now, so everything stays flat, and when you save, your income goes up, right? And this is all choppy on this screen here. It goes up. Now, if you save assets, right? What you save, this is hard doing this backwards. What you save goes down and the price of things go up. You get screwed. It was better under the gold standard. I was originally a gold standard person saying that monetary system was better. Then I swapped to fiat because you can have money that's printed and buy things that you wouldn't normally be able to buy because it would take too long to save. But in the counter argument to that is, well, if you couldn't print money to buy stuff, then things wouldn't be so expensive because you can print money to buy things, which inflates the price. So Bitcoin moves in cycles, pops, drops, pops, and there's going to be a drop coming probably post 2026, in my opinion. Summer 2026, I believe Bitcoin will drop all the way back down and probably be around 60K, maybe even 40s, which is we're all coming for the kill there. But I think each halving cycle is going to get lower and lower. It looks like this one's going to be a little bit delayed. CPI is coming under control, and they're going to start cutting interest rates more aggressively towards the end of the year. If you guys like this content, make sure to like and follow for more. My cutoff on Bitcoin is January of 2026. I'm looking for this to boom in the winter. And if it's going to go, which it already has gone, so don't say it didn't, from down here, 15K to 112, that went plenty. If it's going to continue to go, then it should start very soon here. But there's some confliction on what I said. I'm wrapping this up with the 1, 2, 3 on the monthly. Each body's getting smaller, a neutral candle here with a low volume area. So if I were to be in, if I still had it, I'd probably be taking most right here.